Heidi ho! Good morning. So, in this short live stream, well, first of all, before I tell you what it's going to be about, I got to tell you it's 51 degrees, which means it is, and that's Fahrenheit for everyone outside of the US, and that means that it is time for puppy sweater. That's right, it's sweater weather. It's my favorite weather. Love it. Okay, so getting down to business, let's talk about what we're going to talk about today, and that is, and it's actually a question that I get pretty frequently, and that is, why, why should CEOs post on LinkedIn? Why be active on LinkedIn? I get this quite a bit. Now, even if you're not a CEO of a company, do understand you are a CEO. You are the CEO of your own career. And I know that sounds just, cheesy as heck, but you really are. You are the steward of your own career. So consider yourself a CEO, whether you hold that title in a company or not. And if you want to get to the CEO status or anything in a C-suite, then really you need to be active on LinkedIn these days. That all started in, I would say, probably 2018, the beginning of 2018, the end of 2017. I really felt a shift in the amount of engagement, and really people are now for instance, if you're sending out connection requests, people are much more likely these days to connect with you without ever knowing you. And you give them a reason, of course, but don't tell them you're searching for a job. That comes later. So when you connect with someone or you try to connect with someone on LinkedIn, never tell them your intent. Just ask them to connect. And there are, different ways that you can do that and really get a decent response. Most of our clients, when they are sending out LinkedIn connections, whether it's through the automation tools that we use or just by doing it manually, they get generally speaking, between a 30 and 40% connectivity rate or acceptance rate. And you can pretty much expect that if you're doing it the right way. Now, of course, you have to have a stellar LinkedIn profile. Otherwise, people don't feel compelled to connect with you. But going back to the subject for today, why post on LinkedIn? Why be active on LinkedIn? So especially for CEOs, but any leader, it is not just enough to lead a team, to lead a department, to lead a division, or even a company. It's not just enough to be a leader these days. You have to be a thought leader as well. That is going to help you move higher into your career. It's going to increase the trajectory that you have of getting a better job, getting better pay, having more responsibility, and most importantly, being able to make a big impact, a much bigger impact. So I would say that it is imperative to be active on LinkedIn, not necessarily to just post, but also to write articles. Don't be intimidated by that. I do believe that some people fear writing articles because of the same reason that people are so scared of public speaking. They are very worried about being judged. Don't worry about that. People won't judge you. You're not going to get comments on LinkedIn like, wow, this was a waste of my time. Give me my 4 minutes back that it took me to read this. You're not going to see anything like that. Trust me. Now, if you were to post it on, other platforms, you might get that. But on LinkedIn, that's not going to happen. So don't worry about being judged harshly. Here's the thing. If you're a thought leader, what are your thoughts? And while you're considering that and really just kind of thinking about that, why don't you take a moment to like this live stream, or if you're watching it later, the recording. And if you're not subscribed to me, I would ask that you try it out, and I will give you a lot of very free, very good advice. Very free? It can't get very free, I suppose, but I would recommend that you not only subscribe, but also click that notification bell, because I am striving to do one of these live streams nearly every day, if possible. So when you're thinking about writing something on LinkedIn in an article format, think of this. It will be placed in the featured section or the activity section of LinkedIn, and if you put a great picture on the article up at the top, then it's actually going to get more engagement, get more shares. Think about what can you write that is promoting your own personal brand. What do you want to be known for? Especially if you're wanting to make a move up in your career. What is that move up, and how do you make yourself not only highly relevant to that particular job that you're looking for, but also it's really showing someone the inside of your brain. So I would want you to share your thoughts, your ideas, your opinions on things that are very simple to explain. So here's let me give you a formula for writing an article. It only has to be 400 to 600 words, very short, and think about 3 things that guide your decisions on a daily basis, or the top 3 things to keep in mind when blank, and then you fill in the blank. So it could be top 3 mistakes that I see in such and such, or 3 things, 3 key aspects of a project to make it a success, something like that. It's very easy to come up with a 3, and then you just write a very short introductory paragraph saying, hey, this is what this paragraph, or this is what this article is going to be about, and then 1, 2, 3. So you've got 3 more short paragraphs. Each paragraph might be 1 to 3 sentences, very, very short. And then after the 3, you're going to put an example of how that has played out in your life, in your professional career. So if you've got 3 things to keep in mind when, whatever it might be, give an example of when you've used those 3 things, or even an example of before you learned that lesson, what did you actually put, or how did you learn the lesson, or just keeping in mind those 3 things. This is a success that I've had. Now, if you're looking for a job, or at least openly or passively looking for a job, then you would want to put an example of how that has been a success for you. And that gives someone an insight, someone meaning an employer or a recruiter that finds you on LinkedIn, and it gives them an insight as to your style, your thought process, your leadership perhaps, and make it about topics that are highly relevant to what you want to do next. Not what you're doing now, not what you've done in the past, but what do you want to do next? Set yourself up for that so that when someone reads that, let's say they're on your LinkedIn profile and they see an article. So then you would, they would go to that article, and very quickly they will understand that you're a great leader, or you've got, let's say it's a leadership style, and they understand your leadership style, and then it makes them want to contact you more. So I really recommend that CEOs, or really anyone wanting an executive position, or anyone that is an executive now, become a thought leader. That will set you apart also from the crowd when it is time to apply for something. Then when a human eyeball gets into your resume or your LinkedIn profile, they're going to see that, and that's going to set you apart. Even if you have 1 article. Now, I recommend if you're in an active job search, do an article a month, if you can. You can write those and then maybe have someone else edit it. And if you want to write it and then set it aside for a day or 2 and then come back to it to edit it yourself, that will give a fresh perspective or like a new pair of eyes, I always recommend, if you're married, have your spouse read it. And then oftentimes they can say, you know, I love this part, I don't love this part, and then you can really come up with something that would be very compelling. So when you are looking for a position, especially an executive position, you don't want to outwardly say, hey, I'm looking for a position. In other words, don't put the open to work little signal on your LinkedIn picture. You really want to explain who you are, your value proposition, and an article can actually explain your value proposition. So it just supports it. So what do you want to be known for? If you're looking for something new, then what aspect of what you're doing now do you want to keep? Like the activities, the responsibilities, the impacts. What do you want to keep? But then also, what do you want that will stretch you? And if you're an executive and you're on LinkedIn, stop applying for jobs that you could do in your sleep, because number one, no one wants to hire someone who's grossly overqualified, and that's probably what's happening if you're applying for things online, even on LinkedIn. So I know this has kind of gone into a tangential topic, but I do believe that your personal brand is highly important if you're going to find something these days, and you really want to show them what you're capable of doing, not just what you've done in the past. Don't make your LinkedIn just a history book. Make it a fantastic novel of your next adventure. Expect or let people know what to expect when they are looking at you and considering you for a position. So I do recommend stay off the job boards, even the LinkedIn job boards. Build up your personal brand and then send a connection request to the person that would be your boss in a company that you'd like to work for. Be thinking about what that company looks like. So come up with some search criteria, and you can find those on LinkedIn. And also, just as an FYI, if you've never seen Sales Navigator and you are looking for a position, I would highly recommend paying the $80 a month for Sales Navigator, because it gives you about 25 or 26 different filters to find that perfect person that will be your boss in the companies that you want to work for. So I highly recommend Sales Navigator on LinkedIn. But today I really wanted to touch on why you need to post on LinkedIn. And you don't have to do just articles. You can put posts out there for sure. Just remember, every post can be searched later, especially if you're looking for a position. Make sure that what you post, even if it's an opinion of something, make sure that it's positive. Make sure that it's consistent with the brand that you want to portray about yourself. Just make sure every post is really amplifying that brand and not detracting from it. All right? Okay. I'm going to say goodbye. It's getting at the top of the hour. So my name is Tammy Cabell. I am with Career Resume Consulting. I really appreciate you listening this morning. Have a wonderful weekend if you are heading out for anything this weekend. For me, I'm enjoying sweater weather, and my daughter's home from college, so I'm going to have a lot of fun. Thanks, and again, like and subscribe. Trust me, you'll want to do that. All right, talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.